Hello, friends. Welcome back. Hi, it's Chris Angell and Aaron Hendon.
Ha,
Welcome back to
ha.
another
Ooh,
episode of the Mindful CEO, where we are slaying the dragons of hustle culture,
ha.
one mindful moment at a time.
Whoa, look at you coming up with the tagline, throwing it
Well,
in
you
there.
we you stuck it in there a couple months ago, and it's just every
Yeah,
now and pops up for me.
that's good, especially given the topic today. So I
Ooh,
think,
right. Yes, the
yes,
dragons. Yes, we've got some dragons of hustle culture we want to talk about today.
we
Specifically,
do.
Aaron, what?
Well, I want to talk about, does kindness have a place in performance? In
Fuck
elevating
no.
performance.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
fucking, yeah. Well, I mean, we're
Get that
joking
soft
around.
shit out of here. That's
Yeah,
just, you know what? That's so soft. Kid,
it's a fucking weak
kindness
ass.
doesn't make fucking dials. Let's go, man.
Let's go. Let's fucking get on the phone. Or kind, yeah. I mean, and we have niceness definitely mixed up with kindness.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. That's
That's a
good.
whole nother
Uh-huh.
conversation. But we're, but, so here's where this whole thing came up. Um, I'm starting the next cohort of living a grateful life in a fucked up world. And what's predictable is some percentage of people, 25, 30% of the people will drop out. And because they've decided that they didn't do it right. They'll miss a
Mm,
call, they'll miss two calls, they won't practice during the week. Something will happen, and they'll decide they're not good at meditation, or they're not, they're, that's how they'll justify it. But
yep.
they'll, self assess,
Hmm.
and the assessment will be they're not doing it right.
Yep.
And I don't think meditation is the only place that we do that, where we self-assess, and the assessment is I'm not doing it right. I don't think we self-assess and go, I'm kicking ass. Right? Not very often do we self-assess and think, oh, well, fucking hundreds across the board. We're always
Yeah.
looking for,
Yeah.
at best, it'll have the name what's missing, but really it's what's wrong. And, you know, and that's then housed or dressed up as, or um, disguised as self-improvement, like growth
Mm,
mindset, like
hmm.
I'm always, like self-awareness. I'm aware of my faults, and I'm aware of where I'm weak, and I'm saying it sort of patronizingly.
I like both. Both are
Okay,
acceptable.
okay. Don't patronize me.
It's like roots and
Compassion.
roots, roots and roots.
I've never roots.
Like the
Who the
root
fuck
of a
says?
tree, the root of a
No one
plant.
says no. No one says roots.
They do,
That's
they
not,
do,
no,
they
no,
do in the
no,
Midwest.
no. Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Root.
yeah. I say root, but
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, patronize,
I would leave the show if you said that.
patronize. All right,
Okay, fine. So,
back to
but
the story.
yeah, I say it like that, but the truth is, I mean, obviously, growth mindset and self-awareness and self-assessment and growth, and being able to determine where you're, we all know enough people that have never examined themselves and
Uh-huh.
have no self-awareness about how fucking dumb they sound, and could use some checking. That I'm not discounting or diminishing the importance of that, but I think we
Yep.
misplaced it often. And and here's how that this is the conversation I want to have in the mastermind, and really look to see how this impacts people. Um, when it comes to learning something new, we are really hard on ourselves, really hard on ourselves. Um, on one hand, we just expect to be good at things right away, and if or there's just sort of an instant result mindset.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's cultural.
Yep.
Everything's instant now. I have to wait 30 seconds for the microwave kind of thing, and you know, so there's that element already in the environment.
Yep.
But I think even beyond that, if we don't get, if we're not immediately good at something, first of all, there's an immediately good at. There's already a standard of what
Mm-hmm.
good at it would be
Right.
going into it. And it's not often examined. I don't think we've actually done the work to determine what would be good given, like if I'm going to go learn a skill, am I comparing myself to a professional?
Right.
Is that good? Like the person that spent 30 years doing it, and I'm now going to, having just picked up a
Yeah.
brush, compare myself to Van Gogh? I mean, is that,
Right.
what's good?
Yeah, you say
And
it like that and you think that's a silly comparison. Of course not. Of course not. But then you look at how we actually judge ourselves or self-assess, and that's pretty, it's pretty
yeah,
accurate.
in your business, what are you comparing yourself to when you're doing it? And then if it's something new, see, I mean, I go back to that. We can go back to the meditation class. I was thinking about how to frame this
Mm.
conversation because living a grateful life in a fucked up world starts tomorrow for me, and it's a new cohort, and
Yeah.
30% of those people are going to take themselves out because they're not doing it right, and I'd like to avoid that future.
Right.
Um, so I'm thinking about how to frame this conversation, and part of the framing of it is when you're learning something new. So when you learned how to walk, a really particular thing happens when you learn how to walk. And that is every step, every slight movement, every time you stood up and fell, someone cheered.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, no one admonished. No one held you to a standard, goes, that's not walking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the most part, it's pre language. So you don't have the opportunity to do it to yourself. But everything around you was an environment in which even falling down was a victory.
Yeah.
Every attempt was a victory. There was no assessing. There
Mm-hmm.
was no, you couldn't assess. You weren't, it was, pre your ability to self assess, but no one around you was assessing you
Yep.
because it was a new skill. And there aren't any people that are physically capable of walking that don't wind up walkers.
Right.
Everyone winds up a walker. If you're physically capable, obviously there's a physical element to it, but if
Yeah.
you're physically capable of walking, everyone walks. No one winds up not walking. No one determines that they're just not going to be a walker.
Yeah. Right.
Being carried is fun. I like it better. No, no one's like that, and no one ever says, "Look, I keep falling down. I'm obviously a failure at this.
Man, I suck at
I
this.
suck at this." And no
Uh,
one ever looks at a baby or a kid and goes,
mhm.
"You're going to not be a walker. You suck at
Yeah.
that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? No, there is an infinite amount of time, and it doesn't take an infinite amount of time, but there is no time frame in which
Right.
they need to have accomplished this skill. It's just it's an open-ended opportunity to develop
Yep.
oneself in the skill called walking, however long it takes, whatever it takes, and it falls within a pretty set. I don't know what it is, but you know, I can't remember what I had for lunch, much less how long it took my kids to learn how to walk. But they're both really fucking competent at it.
Really good at walking.
Yeah, they're both really good at it. Um,
And they're how old now? In their 20s?
22 and 19. Yeah, so it's
So
been a
yeah, they're
while.
good.
Yeah,
They're
I got
good.
other concerns besides how long it took them how to walk. But the point is stands is that was a mindset, a growth mindset,
Hmm.
open ended, celebratory. Uh, there was no recontextualization of a failure into a success. You didn't have to. Literally every attempt was a success. Every attempt was worthy of celebration.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, well, okay, well, it was really a failure, but let's put a smiley face on it.
Yeah. 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 Right. Right. Right.
And yet, if you're going to learn how to do something new today, you're going to start self assessing immediately.
Yeah.
There is no chance that you have there's no chance that you have given yourself and open-ended as long as it takes. Every attempt is a success. Every chance I have is a win because I'm going to be a painter, or I'm going to be a podcaster, or I'm going to be a success in business, or I'm going to be an entrepreneur, or whatever. There's virtually no chance you have that mindset again, that you're going to be self-assessing right away. And I just think that's such a mistake.
Mm.
I think that's so detrimental to us to winning in
Yeah.
anything. That being, I don't know if that's kindness, but that's the way I framed it. But you know, celebrating every attempt. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the conversation that I want to launch with the mastermind, and how I'm going to frame it with the group tomorrow when we get into uh, a chance to learn how to meditate. Is even thinking about meditation is a success.
Right. Right, right. Yeah, you said this before. It's very common to hear somebody say, I don't do meditation right. I can't do meditation. And what they mean is, oh, I sat down and all these thoughts came in and I couldn't quiet my mind and I couldn't sit still. Like all the self-assessing that happens about whatever they think is the standard for the right way to meditate. And I didn't do it like that. And so then we think, I just can't do it. So we jump immediately to the story called I can't do it. So I can't, it doesn't work for me. I tried that.
Yeah, and even if you just take apart what you just said, which is exactly what people say,
Yeah.
we're not responsible for it. We added the standard,
Right.
right? You know,
Right.
you because I'll if you ask the teacher why you get a teacher in something, right, is so that they can tell you what the standard is. And I'm telling you, the standard of learning how to meditate is if you sit for and take a breath, that's a win. That's the entire win. That's the standard
Yeah.
until you can take two breaths. And how long does it take you to take two breaths? I don't
Mm.
fucking know. And I don't fucking care. It takes as long as it takes. It's like learning how to walk. It takes as
Yeah.
long as it takes to take the second breath. Okay. And if you think, but
It's great.
incess and it's the opportunity. We're just now going to go down the road of meditation, but I think it's the case with anything.
Yeah.
When Marcus Aurelius talks about Marcus Aurelius talks about the obstacle is the way,
Mm.
that those intrusive thoughts of I'm not doing it right are
Yeah.
what there is to notice. You're not out to have those go away. You just need to notice them as what they are, thoughts. Oh, look, I'm having the thought,
Right.
I'm not doing it right. Oh, that becomes the path then to being fully present. I'm present to, I'm
Mm.
not doing it right. Well, fuck, then you're fully present. Great. That's there.
You
That
did
that
it.
you did
Hey, you took a
it.
step. Oh God.
But you really did do it. You think there's
Yeah.
something else involved. You think there's
Right.
someplace else to get, like
Mm.
nirvana.
Mm. Mm.
Like, okay, maybe, but that's certainly not coming this week. You know, you're not going to get that in a 9-week mindfulness course. Look,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
talk to you in 60 fucking years. Uh,
Yeah. Right.
but what if you could live your life like every single moment was a triumph? And then what's the downside there? There there is in hustle culture, there's a downside called, but there is a right way to do something. I was talking to one of my team partners,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she was investigating this with me. She's like, no, there is some things do have a right way to do it. And I obviously,
Yeah, man. Don't wash my cast iron pan with soap.
fuck yeah, I will fucking come for you.
I know that's a thing for you, man. You're like,
Yeah.
dude, do not
Well,
wash
I'll
that
come
wrong.
for you. Right. Um, so where do those interplay? What's the
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah.
relationship that those things have? And um,
Yeah, man.
you
It's
know,
the paradox. There's a
it
paradox in
is.
there.
And I can hear Coach Dion. Coach Sanders,
Uh-huh.
you know, the standard is the standard. We have a standard on our team. Like if my team has a standard of that you're on time for the calls, you're not late for the calls. If you're late for the calls, you're off the team. There's
Uh-huh.
a standard. The standard is the
Yeah.
standard. But at least in those cases where the standard is the standard, it's established, it's set
Sure.
up,
Yeah.
it's said, it's agreed to,
Mhm.
it's out in the open. It's not me thinking it, holding it to a mental standard.
Right.
I'm agreeing that if I'm going to be on this team, I'm going to be on time.
Well, what if that's in the background of, I just think like, what if you took that and applied that to the whole thing about learning something new in meditation? Like if the agreement is every breath is a success, and you and I can agree to that, then the standard is the standard and it's appropriate. Then I
Right.
versus me comparing myself to a professional painter, Van Gogh, and I just picked up a paintbrush. There was no there was no agreement set. You just sort of brought something into it that didn't need to be there. But could we create an agreement so that there were some conditions around it?
Yeah, I think
I
that's a
kind of like
really
that
smart
thought.
way to approach it. Yeah, I like that thought too. And then, so connect that to agency, Chris, because you had brought up agency in the green room while we were
In the green
eating
room.
M&Ms, waiting for the show to start. I like to think of
Yeah.
ourselves as in the green room, waiting for the
Yeah.
show to start. Yeah, before
It's
Johnny
great. I can't wait
Carson
to see
calls
what
us
else we
out.
get to do in the green room, like play
I
some Chubby
know,
Bunny. You ever played Chubby Bunny?
dude. What the fuck is Chubby Bunny?
I don't know why that was in my head. It just sounded really fun. Like you put the big marshmallows in your mouth and see how many you can get in your cheeks. And every time you say Chubby Bunny until you can't say Chubby Bunny anymore with marshmallows in your mouth.
Okay, hang on. Wait a minute. That's a thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Camp, kids camp. That's, youth group. That's a thing, dude. Chubby
Hang on a
Bunny.
second. Hang on, Kale. Do you ever you ever play a game called Chubby Bunny? Yeah. No, she has no idea what I'm talking about. Kale thinks it's a sex
Oh
game.
God. Oh God. Yeah, man. Well, it could be whatever you want it to be, but yeah. So anyway, all right. So agency. So back to agency. So one of the things that you shared with me early on when we started this project several years ago was a premise for your work being when people have agency, the world will change.
Yeah.
And I hear that like agency being people are empowered to design their life, choose their life, live it how they choose to live it. Like that's you have agency to do what you want to do. You're a sovereign being. And so the challenge so in the background of that is the constant condition that we're self-assessing things as not I didn't do it right, I didn't do it good
Mhm.
enough, and this prevents us from stepping into agency. It prevents us from experiencing our power and being empowered because
Mhm.
every time I do something that isn't to the standard I brought in because of comparison, I immediately think I didn't do it right, I suck, and so I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to
Mhm.
design my life because every time I try to do something in the cottywomple of designing my life, I do it wrong. I don't want to play this game. I suck. I hate this. I hate failing. And
Mhm.
so most of us can't experience our own agency because we're too busy self-assessing how we suck. That's how I was
Yeah.
hearing it.
Okay, good. And I think the part there for me that lacks agency or robs us of agency is
Mm.
the degree to which those standards exist independent of our saying so.
Yeah, right.
Like as is,
Uh-huh.
as the way it's supposed to be. It's
Yeah.
just not supposed to be that way. So I
Yeah.
think it'd be, why I started to think about this was because I'm starting cohorts tomorrow and I want some way to create it
Yeah.
so that people are kind to themselves or give themselves space. That's how I frame it for myself as being kind to yourself. But
Right.
maybe kindness isn't the right word. But the opportunity of setting the standard,
Yeah.
of acknowledging the standard that you may or may not have already in the background for what you think
Hmm.
meditation is,
Right.
or
Yep.
for anything, right?
Yep.
I mean, we talked about and I haven't thought about this in fucking forever, but first 6 months when you go on staff at Landmark, you are, you have an agreement to not judge yourself.
Hmm. Right. There's an agreement,
There's an
a standard
agreement
that's brought in that
brought in,
allows for that space. Yeah.
and it's impossible because you're going to judge yourself,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because but that all speaks to my point that we're
Yeah.
incredibly hard on ourselves, that we are incredibly judgmental of ourselves and holding ourselves to a standard that we consider to be true, that we're unwilling to explore or investigate as well. Maybe this really isn't useful as a standard. Maybe,
Yeah.
which is a degree to which we rob ourselves of
Right.
agency because we wouldn't, if we were
Yeah.
going to have agency, we would, say, okay, well, what's the to stand? And when you learn how to walk, again, the metaphor doesn't track perfectly because you're free language. You don't have, the only standard you have is those people are walking. I want to be like them.
I've got a great
But
story for this. Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. What do you got?
Well, so the late great Frosty Westering, he was a PLU football coach. You love sports. He was one
I
of the
do.
winningest all-time college football coaches. Like
At
like
Pacific Lutheran,
at Pacific Lutheran in Tacoma, Washington. Frosty Westering, look him up. Um, and the
Frosty.
Frosty, as in the
Uh,
snowman,
We are
Frosty
fucking.
Westering.
I am in for Frosty Westerling.
Yes, probably he
Lord.
and oh my God, and what he did with the football program at PLU was amazing. And he wrote a book called Make the Big Time Where You Are, Make the Big Time Where You Are, and his whole football program was like mindfulness training for young men who were playing a game called football. But it was
Mhm.
about how do you win in life, and he brought that to the anyway. Just so cool, and I was so glad I got to be there while he was a coach. He he has a chapter in his book that talks about the one tree man, and the story goes, the short story goes, this gentleman was overweight, he was really out of shape, and he hired a coach, and he showed up that first day to the track, and the coach was there, and so was the rest of the group, and he said, "All right, everybody, go ahead and do a warm up lap." And they all took off around the track, and this guy was sort of sitting there with his head down, and the coach came over and was like, what's up, what's happening? He said, I don't think I can do a lap. He's like, oh, okay, well, what could you do like a half a lap? He's like, I don't think so. Could you do like a quarter of a lap? I don't think so. And you could really just see him deflated. And so the coach goes, all right, well, do you see that tree right there? Do you think you could make it to that tree and back? And he goes, yeah, I think I could do that. He's like, all right, well, we'll do that. So he goes out and he comes back, and the coach said, good job, man. You're a one tree man. And so the next time he showed up, it was like, okay, we see that tree over there. Like, run to that tree. Can you do that tree? He's like, yeah. So then he became a two tree man. Time goes on. He's getting in shape. He goes back to his work. He was in business, by the way, and he sends the coach some letter or calls him and says, I just want you to know, like, I'm a 56 tree man or something like this. Like the story was like he brought a standard. He brought a standard that worked for him in the moment. Like you were saying, could you do one breath?
Mhm.
Great. Well, let's create in you fully experiencing your own agency. How many could you sit for one breath? I could. Okay, great. Well, then let's do that. And now you're a one breath meditator. Okay, then tomorrow could you sit for two breaths? Okay, you're a two breath meditator. Now, over the course of time, how many breaths could we get to? You're like, that's agency because you're the one deciding.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. It's totally how we're going to frame that tomorrow.
I'm a one tree
And
man.
a one tree man. I'm going to frame that with the one breath because the other piece that's in the background there is, and it sometimes shows up like patronizing. Oh, okay, you can't do the whole thing. Okay, well, what can you do? And then you're left with, I don't, maybe I'm making this up. Maybe this is me, right? My relationship to it, but like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll take the dumbed down version, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
right. But that's all part of the same
That's a yeah, yeah.
sauce of
Hmm.
self-judging versus,
Yeah.
no, this is what I can do. And I think about meditation is funny too, because, I mean, I don't think I'm a world class, whatever, what even world class meditator? What the fuck does that even mean? What does that
What
even
does
mean?
that mean? Yeah,
What
yeah.
is,
Where's the competition?
where's my
The
fucking
meditation
award?
games.
Exactly. I kick your ass. I'm so much of a better meditator than you.
Woo!
Woo, baby, I can
Yeah.
sit for fucking longer and
Gold medalist.
fucking, right. And, but there is this illusion, like
Hmm.
like you're gonna somehow have an empty mind, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right, right.
okay, no, it's not this. That's, I don't know what that is. That's a lobotomy, I think.
Oh,
It's not,
right, right.
that's not this. This is just
Yeah.
having space for you to be how you are.
Mm.
And if how you are is judgmental, then you have space for you being judgmental. That's totally fine. If you're gonna assess yourself and
Yeah, right,
then you have space for assessing yourself, and that's how you are right now. And
right.
yeah, so
That's
that's
great.
so anyway, that's the stuff I'm really, really interested in exploring is the different standards
Yeah.
where I don't even give a shit where they came from. It's not interest, and that's the other thing. I think people waste their time trying to figure out, well, where did I get? Who the fuck cares where you got it, right? That just acknowledging that you have a standard that's inherited versus
Yeah, right.
right
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
invented, and then
It's
can you
good.
invent a standard
Hmm.
that empowers you, right? Like this, because when you learn how to walk, uh, what's the standard that you attempt to get up? I mean, is that that you there is no standard. They're not looking for anything. We're just, any attempt is celebrate is an opportunity to celebrate. And I think when learning something new, putting it in the context of learning how to walk will make an enormous difference for you. For
Yeah.
me, just the freedom to do it. And,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to celebrate all of it. We're going to celebrate all of it. You're a one tree guy. You're a one breath guy. That's
Yep.
worth celebrating. And I really do. And I say this all the time when I'm teaching, but people can't hear it through
Mm-hmm.
their internal, like, okay, but he's not talking to me. Really, I should be better at it. But even thinking about meditating is a mindful moment. If you have a thought, I should meditate right now.
Mm.
That's at least you're mindful in that moment that you're present to the thought. That's what else, that's one moment. That's a win. So we'll see what they can do about increase. I really am for me, the game I'm playing is increasing the number of people who complete the course. Um,
Right. Yeah, I like that.
yeah, so that's how we're going to go about it. And then for the mastermind, I want to really explore the different aspects of this and see what opens up in community.
Yeah.
Great,
Wow. That feels that feels complete.
great. Yeah, that's it. Let's put a pin in that.
Yeah, those of you listening, I'd love to hear from you. If you've ever played Chubby Bunny in your life, please hit us up
Oh
in
yeah,
the contact page and let us know
I
because
swear to
I don't
God, you're
think I'm
listening to
alone.
this.
I'm not alone
I
in
know
that.
you are totally alone in that. You and your maybe we all have different roots. So I
Oh
don't.
God, yeah, roots. Yeah, so funny. If you guys want to learn more about how to live a grateful life in a fucked up world, you can go to thegratefulbreath.com.
Yep. Although it'll be 2026.
Yeah, we'll jump on the wait list, people.
Jump on the wait list. Yeah. Get yourself set
And if
up.
you're a realtor, go to therealtorsedge.com. That's just a realtor version of how to live a grateful life in a fucked up world.
Yeah.
Both of those are sort of prereqs for joining the
Join,
mastermind.
join.
If you want to be in a community that's really exploring this as a practice, like that's what we do in the mastermind. So,
Yep.
great. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Aaron.
Yay.
See you next time
Bye,
in the
dude.
green room, and we'll take it from there.